Good day, everyone. Welcome to the uh, King County Regional Homeless Authority's regular meeting of the Continuum of Care Advisory Committee. Today is March 1st, 2023, and we're starting just a few minutes after 2. Like to start off with a land acknowledgement. Do we have anyone that would like to give a land acknowledgement?
I acknowledge the land that we're on is stolen land from the Coast Salish and other tribes, and that we don't really have any right to. This is just swinging it. We don't have any right to be on the land or to take it away from them, or and I just want to also acknowledge the atrocities and the perpetuation for genocide of a people, and that most of those people are still here, and that they are not whole, they're not thriving, and that others are. And so we need to be mindful about that, and to make space for them at these tables as we make decisions for the community, and that we honor them and respect them and do what we can to help them to thrive. So that's what I'll say.
Thank you, Karen. As we discussed last month, I am still working on language for a labor acknowledgement. I had hoped to have it for this meeting, but I did not finish. I will present options for labor acknowledgement next month. So presently, can we get a roll call?
Yes. Hi, everybody. Okay, so doing roll call now. Tamara Bauman.
Here.
Kelly Brown. Lise Castro. Shanae Colston.
Present.
Brianna Franco. Marvin Futrell.
Here.
Christy Hamilton.
Yeah, I'm here.
Marisol Tapia Hopper. Benjamin Mishk. Noreen Hill Oneida. Linda Peoples. Christina Sawicki. Robin Tasuda. Karen Taylor.
Present.
Sherry Tillman. Okay, at this moment, we have 5 board members present, and we do not have quorum.
Thank you. Please let us know if other board members join us as we move forward. I will take this time to start public comment. As always, with the Continuum of Care, we'll take public comment throughout the meeting, but we set aside this time to get the ball rolling. And if folks just simply have a question, please put it in the chat and we will do our best to answer. So do we have anyone for public comment?
At this time, I do not see any hands raised.
Thank you, Catherine. All right. The minutes we will bypass. If there are any questions about the minutes, please take the time now to ask for last month's meeting. And if we get quorum, we will vote on them. All righty. It is now the time in the meeting where we get to introduce our new Continuum of Care Board coordinator to us. Does anyone want to take the lead on welcoming Eli to the new role as our staff coordinator? I see a little hand floating.
I'm happy to do an initial intro and then give it over to Eli. So we spent, let's see, I think 2 or 3 months doing a search for a COC coordinator to work with KCRHA as well as our COC board. And Eli is joining us after wonderful rounds of interviews. A huge thank you to the board members here who were on those panels. Karen Taylor was with us for every single interview for the first round. And I know Tamara, Christy, Shanae, Lise, a lot of you joined us for those second round interviews as well. And uplifted Eli to join us in this role. Eli comes to us from being a COC coordinator with Boise, Idaho and Ada County. And we are just so thrilled to welcome you. Eli, if you want to give a little intro to yourself.
Thank you so much. I just feel great right now. My name is Eli Griffin, which has already been said, and I use any gender pronouns. Just a little bit about my background. I'm originally from rural Idaho and then moved to Boise and been there for about the last decade. As mentioned, I'm most recently the coordinator for Boise City, Ada County COC, and I worked both in municipal government and nonprofit sector, largely for a domestic violence shelter. A lot of my experience is in project management, data management, process improvement, and just a lot of bureaucracy in general for social services. And then as a queer youth, I experienced housing instability, and that really shaped who I am and how I view the world. And it's led me into, working to end homelessness and just how KCRHA and members of this board have discussed, including lived experts and the focus on DEI and in particular injustice really led me to want to join this organization. I already feel like I've talked about myself for too much now, but I'm just really excited to get to know all of you, listen to your stories, hear your ideas about the COC's future, working together to create a strategic work plan and, push that work forward. And so, I'm working to find a new footing in a brand new community and a new organization. So I ask for a little bit of grace as I get my wits about me. And, as I said, I really look forward to working with all of you. I've really seen just this within the last 7 days of being here. An amazing level of compassion and care for folks. And I'm just so excited to be here and to work with such amazing people. So thank you.
Welcome.
I'm so glad we got you out of Boise, Eli. I'm so glad you're here.
Very excited to have you, Eli. Also, I
Me
want to
too.
acknowledge that Lise Castro just came in.
Welcome, Leeds.
Hey, Alex. Hey, Marvin. Hey, everybody else. Welcome, Eli.
And any other welcomes? Any other questions for Eli?
You picked the perfect time of year. How are you liking this weather?
When I first got here, it was warmer than Boise, and then that disappeared. But I feel at home.
I'm so glad you're here.
Hopefully it won't get as cold as Boise does in the winter, but we all know that's going to happen.
Ready. Anyone else? Alex, please keep track of, I think we are now at 6. If we get 2 more, we'll reach quorum. And we did have a bit of work. I'd like to go through the folks that are being presented for the implementation board and the governing board committee. Did everyone have a chance to read the bios that Alex sent? If they did, were there any questions? We're being asked to confirm the governing board seats and the implementation board co-chair seat that's open. That would be Okisha Brandon for the implementation board, and Roosevelt McQuarter and Felicia Salcedo for the governing board.
So I haven't received them. I haven't reviewed them. I just got this invitation to this meeting today. So no, I have not.
Okay, please review them. We have not been able to confirm them, but we now have bios for those who are interested, and the boards for those board seats. If we hit quorum today, we can come back to this. If not, I will work with Shanae. We may need to call a special session to actually handle that bit of business so that the
Yeah,
other
that would
boards
be a bad
can continue
idea.
work.
Is there anybody else who hasn't reviewed them or any questions in regards to the bios that have been read by anybody?
I read them. I like both of them. I liked all
Yeah,
three.
both Karen and I have our hands up, by the way, too, and I've not reviewed them or read them either. So let's table that and shelve that. But I'm curious as to why, as a board, we're approving implementation and governing board members when our own board is hungry for members, and we need to address that primarily, Marvin. I'd like to bring that up.
One, it's primarily it's a process step for them bringing seats for their boards. We later on in this agenda, we have several applications. I'll take this time to ring the bell one more time. Until 11:59 March 3rd, please apply if you wish to be part of the Continuum of Care Board Advisory Committee. I have done some outreach. If others need more information about outreach, we can jump to that, but Karen did have her hand up, you said. I don't want to
Yeah,
miss.
she
Yeah, and I want to say
Go ahead,
that I
Karen.
never
And then I'll come back
received,
to you, Christie.
I never received any applications from King County Regional Homeless Authority to distribute to the community. And I do notice that all of the people that have applied are LEC members. And so I wonder, is that equitable if the community has not had a chance to respond to the fact that we need seats filled? I wonder why I have not received any applications to distribute to the community.
Good question.
Thank you for
and
saying that,
I'm going to
Karen.
handle both questions.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah, I've got some information as far as the SPC applications, Karen. I did confirm today at our meeting that we do have SPC applications in print at the office. So,
I don't know what SPC means.
oh, that's the subcommittee. I think we talked about Janelle making sure that we're System Performance Committee. We're the oversight committee for HMIS. We do have print, and we also have a QR code flyer for people who are interested in being on the subcommittee. As far as the COC committee, I know that they were supposed to get those to you, and I don't know why that hasn't happened, but I do want to let you know that System Performance Committee does have paper copies, specifically because you and Christina were looking at getting the paper copies distributed to the community and to
Absolutely.
University of Washington.
Well,
Yeah,
let
thank
me,
you guys for that and following up.
let me
and following up.
respond and say that I appreciate that, Christy. But I was talking about the governance board and implementation and the COC board seats.
Right, I hear you.
Um,
I hear you,
So
Karen.
let me go there and say that, again, this has been months now.
Yeah.
Months
I
that
hear
I
you.
have
Thank
not
you.
had a chance to distribute anything to the community. And again, that all of the people that are applying or asking us to vote on them are from LEC. And I wonder, is that equitable or fair? Because no one else knows that we, even what we're doing, saying that we're working for them here, and they don't even know that. So let's be clear about that.
Karen,
Thank you, Karen.
just to go on what
Christie.
Karen is saying here,
Excuse me, one
Christie,
second. I just want to pause. We
order,
have a
please,
comment in the chat.
guys.
we have a comment in the chat. That's what I was looking at.
Thank
Shanae.
you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
That Bill Kerlin
So
Hackett.
Shanae,
Yes.
Do we want to read that?
yes, can you read it out?
It says, I go to most KCRHA meetings and have seen no invitations made widely public to apply for any of the 3 KCRHA boards.
Yep.
And Bill, we all agree with you on that. I would say the same thing. I just want to acknowledge Karen and bringing that up, and also answer part of your question is too, Christy. You asked why are, and just clarify, why are those seats being filled? And when we have our own seats to be filled. And I just want to let people know that one, Akeisha's been working in that seat for quite some time now. And it wasn't until now that we're getting the bios, right? So she's been doing the work and holding that seat. I think Karen is correct in regards to, like, it's kind of monopolizing, and it doesn't seem very equitable that everybody who was given a chance to apply is only recommended by the LEC. And then also just remember that us acknowledging these seats that we are being asked to vote on is our duty as the COC. That is part of our responsibilities. But I would agree with both of you in questioning the equitability of the people who are up. And in regards to Bill and Karen's responses as well, is that I too have not received any form of giving out that application. What I do hear is that Christy and Janelle and them and Tamara have been able to build a QR code and other things, a paper copy, and I would love to be afforded those same things so that they can be distributed out equitably among not only us as this board, but in our community members as well, of those that we represent, the most vulnerable, because I'm pretty sure those people, once again, don't know that those are available to them if us here at this board didn't even have a copy of what it was to be handed out in the first place. Thank you.
Thanks, Shanae. So this is a question that I'm going to extend to our new staff coordinator and to other staff that have been working around this issue for the last month. I know I've been at every co-chair meeting I could make. And we had talked about the applications, getting them out. I believe that Alex made time when she released those applications to actually take applications in person for the KCRHA at the KCRHA offices. Where do we stand for the Continuum of Care Advisory Committee Board? Where do we stand on having paper applications to distribute to folks?
Yeah, so I've been working on this. With the help of Kelsey, we created 2 smart sheets that are online on the website. I just sent the link to both of them in the chat. I was not aware that this needed to be a paper document. So we can get on that right now. So I will.
Just to clarify, there is a
Well,
PDF
the
that's on the
reason
website.
that it needs to be paper is because the people that are active, boots on the grounds, living on the streets, don't have access to Wi-Fi, internet, or any of that kind of stuff. Probably don't even understand how to use the QR code. Not putting them down and saying that, but the education is just not there for the people and for the community. That is why we said that we were going to post them in offices, welfare, SSI office, Social Security office, places where they are so that they could see and read and understand. This
No, I hear you. So
this world is moving too fast away from just simplifying information, and it's too convoluted for people to understand. Okay, and that's why we said that.
No, I hear you. We have a PDF version, and yes, no, people cannot print it. I see the chat. We have an online version. I also have my phone number available if people would like to come in to submit an application. We can print out the PDF version of this and make that available, and I can send it to you guys via email so that you can distribute it as well. Peter, correct me if I'm misspeaking.
No, I don't need it in an email. I need a paper copy. I need you guys to like
need
send
to
me
be
a packet
printed.
of like 25 applications.
Okay, we can do
Yeah,
that.
we need them printed by KC.
Like, we don't have access to
RHA.
printers and things like that, not at our homes, not in our cars, right? And again, like Karen said, we want to distribute them like to the community, food banks, shelter, places where the service of the most vulnerable are being served, and they need to be well made aware of like, these are the things. And I'm gonna say, I love the fact that they have the subcommittee. How do they have a QR code and we don't even have a QR code for the damn app?
Right,
So I'm
I
just
see
asking.
it.
right? I've had my hand up for a while. I'm gonna butt in,
Yes.
Karen
So-
and
I don't know how
Shanae.
much time we have.
I'm
'cause
not
I
gonna
didn't-
be a quiet ending no more. I got shit to say, so, you know.
So
So do the
just
people in
one
the
second.
community.
I just want to do a time check though. Because we
I
are.
would
No,
thank
if you
you,
can talk, I can talk. Aren't you glad you're part of this, Eli?
Christie.
Yeah,
Please,
I need,
let's
I
not be
need,
combative. We've got
I
a lot
need
to
to, I
cover.
need to bring something
Yeah.
up, Marvin, that needs to be addressed for this board. Okay, we are historically never at quorum, ever. How many times have we been not in quorum with this committee? Why don't we have a vote today, something in place, an emergency measure for us to change the number of quorum? We had Reverend Kelly Brown just quit. So we're now down another member. And yet every time there's something that we need to vote on as a board, well, we don't have enough members because people keep quitting because they don't know what's going on. So we need to have some sort of emergency quorum declaration in our mission statement, in our bylaws, in our charter that allows for this, because it happens more often than not.
And I am taking dutiful notes of that because we're going to look at the charter before today's meeting's out. So
Every
Thank
month. And
you.
I also thought that as far as Alex didn't know about getting the paper copies, I thought Catherine was supposed to have those paper copies for you, Karen, for the applications. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but I noticed breakdown in communications there. Yeah,
So
let's
there
take some
were-
more notes. Yeah,
I always take notes, and there's several things that seem to have come up in one conversation. I'd like to finish off with the understanding that we need board members. We, as Shanae and I, as Shanae comes back online and working with us, I want to put forward that maybe we should extend the deadline since the chairs made the deadline for the applications, that we extended out 2 weeks to give some of this that we've heard today.
I think
an
we need longer
opportunity
than
to
2
actually-
weeks, Marvin.
at a minimum,
We want to do it a month,
sounds better. What do you think? Karen?
Shanae?
Well, I need to know when the materials are going to be, the date that I'm going to have them. Right? Because I may say a month today, and then it takes 2 weeks to get the materials, then that's pointless to me.
Right.
I think 60 days is fair.
Okay,
We also
Well,
have deadlines though in reaching the COC timeline as well, y'all, and voting these matters in. Like those seats can't set unavailable just like ours can't. So there is a timeline that we must follow of deadlines that are out of our control. So I hear that we want 30, 60 days, but reality is, and Alex or Catherine, Peter, correct me if I'm wrong, Marvin, there's a time limit though that we are expected meeting with the HUD expectations.
There will be ongoing deadlines that we need to meet to map to the NOFA process. So we can print the application off the PDF. It's like I said in the chat, the link is on the website. The link was sent out to folks. It has both the smart sheet for folks to do an online application, but also peel off the PDF, and we'll print off a bunch of those and get them to you.
I like minutes. Why don't we start with the minimum 100? Let's get 100 applications printed off and let's divide them amongst the folks that are here that clearly want to do that work. And can we get that out by no later than Monday? That would be the 6th.
Yes, we'll print them today.
Okay, so
Um,
as I'm tracking along, if we extended 30 days, that would be April 6th, 11:59, we'd call the close.
So just for clarity, are we
And I
talking
have
about, sorry, just for clarity, are we talking about the seats for the
Our
for
board,
the implementation board, the other
No.
two boards?
no,
What?
our
what's
board,
specific- For the COC only?
for the COC, for us.
Oh,
Okay,
I thought we were talking about both of them.
So did I.
No. We're talking about our
The same
board.
thing needs to happen for both of them. So that's why I thought
Right.
we were doing the thing.
So the process in which they seat those boards may not be clear to everyone. I will, once again, I just took another note. What I sorted through, each board has a way to refill its seats. It's not contingent upon us. We just simply get to confirm those that are put forward for their seats. And so I will be one of the other tasks that I will be taking away from this meeting is it's a good way for Eli to join us is making sure that the process in writing for how the different boards, not us, we know ours, but for the other two boards actually goes and what our commitment is. So
I've
that
got
we
a
can
Well, I
vehicle.
can't
confirm
vote on
things are
something
right.
that's inequitable, Marvin.
Say again.
I cannot
again,
vote
Jeanette.
on something that is inequitable. And now we've had
That-
multiple people talk about how it was inequitable to have the candidates that you guys are asking us to vote on, and we not know the process or who these people are. Not to mention, again, people have already been acting in those positions without us voting in the first place.
Correct. And I thought my answer was, I thought I was following up. The original answer is for us to do just our due process. We can set up a meeting later. Right now, I'd like everybody to understand because the word inequitable gets thrown around about how another board seats itself in their bylaws and then by their charter or practices. I simply want to make sure
If
that
it's
we know what
discriminatory,
it
if it's
is.
racist, I will not vote on it. I don't care what
That's fine.
agency, what entity, what organization. If it is not equitable and it turns into a racist, discriminatory practice, and I'm responsible for voting for it, you will not ever have my vote. Are you
Correct. Correct. But
So
let's figure out what the process.
racism? And when it's inequitable, when the whole lineup is monopolized by one agency and all their people, whether that is that or not, it's not my issue.
Okay. So I think we're asking for the same thing here, which is a better understanding of the process.
well, what we're asking is that people not muscle through, okay? Just because of who they know and da. You know what I'm saying? We're asking not to be bullied into making decisions. I'm not gonna be voting for them either. I already said that. Okay,
Fair enough.
it's not equitable, it's not fair, and that's not how we do business. That's not how it has been done in the past, and that's not how we should continue to do it. Maybe I contradicted myself right there, but anyway, I just feel like I feel like they're muscling through, and I don't agree with the people that they have picked for reasons
Okay.
that I don't have to disclose here. But I
Thank
don't
you.
agree with
You do
it. I don't want puppets. I want
good-
people that are unafraid to speak truth to power about what's right and what's wrong in these systems. I'm tired of it. I don't want those kind of people sitting around getting the nod just because somebody else told them to nod.
Okay,
There's a good comment in the comment section about,
Thank you.
it's because the implementation board and governing committee are actually heads of companies, heads of departments. Is there any lived experience spots on the implementation and governing boards? Is there?
yes.
Okay. Did you hear that,
Yeah,
listener?
they're
Thank you for
taking
asking
up
that.
to the LEC members. That's the point. That's what we're talking about. Like, it can't just be one people's agency. This has to be, as much as we're sitting here telling our own application has to go out across the community, the same has to be for the seats that we're expected to vote on. Like, I really cannot ever be asked to vote on something that I'm responsible for as the COC member, and the process in which the people got there was not equitable. The process in which somebody was given a ticket was because they knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody, and it wasn't based off of what you're telling us now is the bios and applications, because I feel like I'd have much more range of people applying than just LEC members. So if you want to call it, we want to know the process, call it what you want to. I'm not here to sugarcoat nothing. I'm calling it an equitable way in which people got seated, whether it's our board, their board, your board, who's ever board, if that ain't right. And what's right is not right. And so you can't just expect people to go along with the flow because so-and-so said so. That's not what I'm here for. Like, I'm gonna,
also,
And I
too, I want to
agree.
say too that, you know,
Once
I
again,
was
guys,
an alternate.
this is not the
I was
argument.
Marvin, I was an alternate for the governing board before I
Yes.
even became a COC board member.
Correct.
I don't know what happened with that, okay? Jonathan Hempel was a member of that board. So if you're not gonna be equitable to us about our seats, then I'm not voting anybody else in that just ignored and forgot that we are human beings and we are people. We have feelings and we matter. And so we can't do that, is what we're saying. We can't expend anyone, kick anyone out, and treat people harmfully. I'm not going to stand and sit on this board for that. We're going to be fair, we're going to be equitable, and we're going to be decent human beings here. We're not bullying and doing that. We're not.
I am the choir in this conversation once again. I hear you clearly. I am trying to forge a working way forward for our board so we can reconstitute ourselves in an equitable way. So why don't we take care of work here first? And I want to stick back with our board. We need to fill the seats. So we got away from that conversation once again, back to something that we can't do today, even if we can't, because we don't have enough votes. So it's once again trying to make sure that the real good work gets done. And I clearly hear that we don't want to uplift or confirm inequitable processes, but they have to be processes that everybody can read and see together of how it works. If we don't like how it works, then we advise on changes. But let's one step at a time.
Hello, I'd like to acknowledge that Christina Sawicki just joined us.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. And we have a hand up somewhere.
Oh, that was me, sorry.
Tamara.
Oh,
Tamara.
yeah, that's me. And I also see Sherry Tillman in the attendees list.
Let's move her over.
And I was just thinking about like the COC convening. We're we have to think about membership anyway. And I think it really undermines our credibility as a board if we're not like doing what the public has said, like really reaching out into the ether of our communities to pull people in to apply. So there's that, but also like I think we should be the priority. not implementation, not governing. Sorry. You guys are definitely important, but you guys have the concentrated power that we do not. So I think we need to be focusing on our own power and cultivating that and making sure that our COC is fully staffed in terms of board members, and also that we have a continuum of care that can move forward the work that we're trying to do. I'm trying to develop a partnership right now with NAMI and KCRHA. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I want to be focusing on. I don't want to just keep having these same old conversations about, you know, legitimate concerns, but like they're getting in the way of progress. And I want us to be able to, you know, get on the same page, get more people in, and show the governing and implementation board that you have people who are directly from the community, and you're not like actively recruiting and involving them in your work. That needs to change. So that's my 2 cents.
Christina got her hand up.
Thank you. Christina?
Thank you. And another thing is part of our job is reaching out, and several COC members from across the country are in Northern California, and several, like 8 have sent me messages why I'm not there, Karen's not there. I call her Sherry, but I know I'm saying her name wrong, is not there because they wanted to hit up and meet with us. And I'm like, you know, we're not even being sent to those places to come together with other COC members that are consumers with lived experience. And that I didn't even think of actually until like 2 hours ago when I started getting messages. I was like, holy cow, our COC leadership, our staff didn't even send something out saying, hey, other COCs are going to be there from HUD. Let's get some of our people there that actually, you know, people who are like myself. I don't have permanent housing. I don't. And I know Sharon, and I say her name wrong, and I'm so sorry, doesn't either. That's bullcrap.
It's Shanae.
Thank you, Shanae. You know, we're the people that should be at those meetings explaining what it's like for us out there right now to try and find housing in our unhoused neighbors and be there connecting. How are you getting housing right now? I'd like to hear that, you know, and we're not even doing, it's like we're not doing any of the functions of our COC.
Thanks, Christina.
Also, just chiming in, quorum is met with 8 board members.
I wanted to make a suggestion that I've got a vehicle and some time after this meeting. I could actually go down to where you are, Alex, and then I could bring those paper applications for both committees, our COC and the SPC, to you, Christina, and to you, Karen, if you like. Let me know.
Sure, if you want to do that, I can print them out today. Just
great, then I can
ping
do
me
that
when you're on your way.
Great. And I'm going to put my phone number.
To Karen, please.
What was
What's
that, Shanae?
Give mine, Shanae's to Karen.
I will do that. Karen, I'm going to put my phone number in the chat privately to you, and Christina privately to you. And if you can text me and let me know where to drop these off, I'd be glad to do that so we can get this ball rolling.
Okay. So let's take advantage of quorum if we have it. I want to bounce back real quick and does anyone have any objections? I'd like to move that we approve last month's minutes.
So moved.
Thank you. All righty. All in favor, say aye. Or raise your hand. I think we can count hands.
Aye.
Aye.
Last one's been
Alex, we
approved.
able to. Thank you very much. I'd like to put forward a motion that we extend the time for accepting applications for our board to April 6th.
A second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Any nays? Any abstaining? So moved. So we will make sure that gets in a minute. It looks like we've worked out how to get paper applications out, and we now have hopefully a sufficient amount of time to work with the community to get other applications in. I am looking to the board for a motion. I offered that I think we need to be given in terms of written process, how the other boards bring new membership on. That was the question. That's what I heard. I'd like to, but I still would like to get a better understanding if we are ready as a board to vote or not.
Wondering if Peter
Peter?
can pull those charter recommendations forward for us to read.
Yeah, I can. I will pull the relevant areas from the implementation board, which has a set of bylaws, and excuse me, the governing committee there's sections in the interlocal agreement that establish both of those two boards, and also align with the function of the advisory committee, so that there are members with lived experience on each of those boards. That is part of the way that their charters work. They also have members who are nominated by or are direct participants in, the other governmental structures within our region. So, for example, City of Seattle has some representation on those bodies, King County as well, the Sound Cities Association, and so forth. The responsibility in the bylaws and in the charter of the interlocal agreement is for the advisory committee to vote on recommended folks. The recommendations that came over were the folks that Marvin presented. So that was what was presented. But I will I'll post the links to the interlocal agreement, but also and I'll send the folks to the relevant sections of those.
So you're saying one guy presented all the board members that you want to place on the boards, and it was Marvin? There's only one
No.
person? Okay,
No.
I'm sorry, what did I miss here?
No, I just meant that Marvin presented the item on the agenda. That's all.
Oh, okay. I thought he was the only one that told you names to put on the board. So,
Sorry, I didn't mean to imply that. I mean,
that was my mistake. I misunderstood that. Sorry.
Christina?
Can we get the three from each from the governance board as well as the implementation board, their names, who they are that are representing those with lived experience as well?
Absolutely. So
Because I
there's,
don't,
Thank you.
that website is not easy. I did try to look, so you know.
yeah, I
Thank you,
will,
Christina. We'll work.
I'll put that, but there are current folks, and then there are these vacancies that they're seeking to fill, and that's why they've asked for approval of these nominations.
So while you work on that, I wanted to take advantage of our quorum. We have, I want to see if Kelsey's wants to share our evaluation ranking timeline and our values and priorities that we need to adopt so we can continue to do good notification of funding opportunities.
And Sherry never got moved over.
Please move Sherry over.
Also, I just a last thought on this is, so we'd be voting people in based on their bios. I want to meet these
No,
people.
I really want to, once again, it wasn't for us. We either can confirm their recommendations or we can say no. We didn't select them. The process wasn't ours to own. We either agree with their recommendations and we send them forward with the confirmation from us, or we don't. It's really
What's
just that.
the point of
simple.
that process then? Why?
really quickly, I did not write the document that's guiding this process along. It is one of the areas where we get an opportunity to be a good advisory committee, and that's called system redesign. When we come up across stuff like this, being able to meet with them and offer other solutions. And I see Christina's hand up again. Am I missing any others? Please don't let me miss folks.
I would like to how do I say it? A vote that we not accept what has been handed to us at this time.
There's a motion that we don't do the confirmation for new folks for
I
the other two
second.
boards.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
Okay,
100%.
okay.
I don't even know who these people are. You're asking me to vote on. I mean, all I would have is a name. Do I like this person's name? Sure, be on the board. You know, what do I know about them? Are they applicable? Are they good people? Are they the people that need to be on this board? It's just a name at this point, and at this point, I don't even have a name. So agreed.
All righty. The motion is that we not take a vote on this confirmation this month. I have heard and said that if maybe you were saying, do you want them to come and speak to us? But let's do the vote first and then figure out the next steps. And then let's give the floor back to Kelsey. So it's been motioned and second that we don't take a confirmation vote. All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
I
Aye.
Aye.
All those, all nays? Any abstentions? Okay,
We
please
don't
record
have,
that.
we don't have Sherry Tillman, excuse me for interrupting. We do not have her
Thank you,
on this.
Karen.
panel.
Have we moved her over yet, guys?
Is-
In the
is there
chat,
s-
she said aye. So she's in agreement with us
Thank
too,
you.
but yeah,
Make her a panelist. Can we elevate her?
Alex can do it.
Catherine, I think you're gonna have to do this. I don't have control of the meeting itself.
Whoever Catherine can make anybody a co-host and they can do it.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Catherine, are you able to do this? I'm sorry, I'm
She's here.
still
Thank
learning.
you.
Okay, thanks. Sorry.
Welcome, Sherry.
Oh, there she is. Okay, great.
Hello.
Hey, Sherry,
Welcome, Sherry.
Hey,
welcome.
Sherry.
And now I will hand the floor back over to Kelsey.
Thank you. Thank you all. It's lovely to be here in space with all of you. This is likely my last board meeting that I'll be in for a little while. I will be going on parental leave sometime soon, but we'll likely reconvene with you all again sometime in July. I might miss the July meeting, we'll see. But just wanted to share that with all of you and just my appreciation for the passion and just continued action and vocalizing of change that you all bring to this space. I am hoping to share with you today a little bit about our NOFO process. That's my, bread and butter with you all. I have a couple of things that I want to just provide some updates on. First, again, we will continue to have the weekly NOFO planning meetings. Those are 8 a.m. on Thursdays, which are a very early meeting, I know. And Tamara and Marvin have continued to be great representatives for the board on that. I'm also putting the information in the chat so that that is known for all of you. I believe that was sent out after last month's meeting about the different meetings that we have. So this will continue to move forward and be carried forth by Jen, Eli, and Owen, working on the NOFO process while I am gone. And we are excited to kind of continue on this work. There are two things I want to focus on today. One is a bit of a timeline update regarding changing and improving our ranking process for programs. So this is something that in the past we had a rating and ranking tool that was being used by King County that we adopted last year. And this year we really want to focus on looking at that tool and looking at how are we ranking programs, how are we rating programs, and what are the measures that we want to do. And one thing that we are planning on doing throughout, likely this will begin in April. Owen, who leads our community impact team and doing the data work, he will be out in March as well as I, and to give Eli and Jen time to both onboard and orient, aiming to get this really started and dug into in April. So April, May, hopeful vote on the ranking tool with you all in June, in time for preparation for the NOFA, which will likely come in July. The idea that we have is to be setting up some community engagement sessions, both with community members and also on site at different COC funded programs, to bring in participants who are living in COC funded permanent supportive housing or transitional housing, who are receiving rapid rehousing through COC programs, to get folks who are accessing our programs to get their input on how we should be rating programs. So those sessions will be planned to occur in April and may go into May, to really inform how we rank people or how we rate people. What's that tool and how do we do that? How do we want to weigh, different measurements of performance and how well-being is being uplifted in programs. So welcome you to join us throughout March to continue to kind of build out the ideas around this and the actions that we hope to take throughout April and May. So that's one kind of main goal regarding the rating process, is to really have the evaluation of that rating tool be brought to community and to program participants. And we'll hopefully have more of an update for you in our March meeting, or it's March, isn't it? After March is April, almost in May. Pardon me, my brain is a little funky these days. Before I go on, I see, Christina, that you have a hand up.
Yeah, so my brain injuries. So this rating tool is for people who are coming out of that are getting into permanent supportive housing, right?
It is. Oh, yeah. Pardon me. It is for folks who are currently in our COC funded programs. So the most of the COC funded programs do include permanent supportive housing, as well as rapid rehousing and transitional.
So this is just for people in, so it's not going to give us data on exiting.
In the evaluation process, we do look at exit data. So we will incorporate exit data.
That's what my question was. I want to know if we were getting exit data too. Thank you.
Yep. Yes, we will be getting exit data. So pretty excited about, just kind of focusing on revamping how we are rating and making sure that there's a lot of community voice and lived experience voice in what we value in these programs. So that is, for me, I think it's a pretty exciting thing. And so comment in the chat, rating for the funding process. Yes, so the NOFO process for HUD, the Notice of Funding Opportunity, happens every year. It is a competition nationally, and locally it is also a competition. So we have to do two processes. Our local competition, where we present to HUD what programs locally we would rate higher or lower for renewal of funding. So the COC program is not guaranteed funding every year, so we have to reapply for it every year. And part of that is looking at our local programs that are being currently funded and how we would want to renew them. Like what's kind of our rank order to renew those dollars. And that is part of the rating process, as we have to look at, there's some specific HUD criteria we have to include, and then we can also include some local criteria. And after we rate, we then rank based on established local values and priorities, which is the next thing that I want to go over with all of you. So every year, we have to reaffirm our local values and priorities. We did this last year. So this may look really familiar to a lot of you, and it may seem kind of redundant, which it is a little bit redundant, but it's also an opportunity for us to look at, are there things that we want to uplift differently this year? Are there values or priorities that, you know, we didn't include that we want to make sure we're including as we look at our COC funded programs and determine, you know, how do we want to decide if there are programs that rate the same? How do we want to decide how to rank that? What are the priorities we want to look at in programs to inform that decision? So this is the rating or the local values and priorities document that I sent out to all of you, and I believe is posted, and I'll share my screen to go through it. And System Performance Committee, yes, they are involved in the metrics. There's tie between HMIS, because we do have to look at HMIS performance metrics in relation to the rating process. Yeah, thank you for that question. All right, so I will share my screen with you all. And we will pull up so this is the draft. I want to close that so I can see better and minimize that so I can also see better. I can't see the chat very well. So if you have question or comment, if Alex or Catherine, if you would please
I'll let you know.
Alert me. Thank you so much. So in our 8 a.m. Thursday morning meetings, we reviewed our 2022 values and priorities and went and did through suggestion, went through kind of each value and each priority to make recommended changes that today I'm hoping to walk through with all of you to either approve or make some other changes. And the goal is that at the end of reviewing this, to vote to affirm our 2023 values and priorities that will guide the NOFO process that will happen kind of throughout the summer months. So our first change, I changed the dates. Are there any objections to the dates just being across the board changed from 2022 to 2023?
Okay.
Should it say fiscal year 23-24 by any chance?
It's
no, she was not. She was.
yeah, the way HUD does it is fiscal year 21 because it'll be in 23 because it'll be a new process for fiscal year 24.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to accept the suggestion. So we first have our list of values. So the first 6 are the values as a COC as a whole. The first 2 are the theory of change and the mission of KCRHA, which this board doesn't have the oversight to change. Recommendations can be made to changes to the implementation and governing committee, but for this process, we are not able to change the wording. So we maintain these as they are, and I'm happy to answer any questions about that. Cool.
Next.
All right, so our third value We rephrased it a little bit to capture that we want to serve everyone in our community who is vulnerable to the experience of homelessness, while also calling out some particular communities that have greater disproportionality of vulnerability to the experience of homelessness. So the wording we have for number 3, promote equitable access and service provision with an intersectional and anti-racist approach, serving those who are vulnerable to the experience of homelessness in our community, including but not limited to the BIPOC community, the trans community, the LGBTQIA Two-Spirit Plus community, people living with disabilities, people exiting the foster care system, the aging, people with carceral system involvement, people living with behavioral health conditions and substance use disorders, and all immigrant and refugee communities. Any comments or issues?
Someone in the chat said,
yep, trans, yes. So the reason that we pulled out, in particular, the trans community is to ensure that there is an uplifting of that experience. We are maintaining it within LGBTQIA Two-Spirit Plus. However, just given the importance and the harms that come particularly to the trans community within the larger LGBTQIA community and in our current political environment and current cultural environment, felt that it was important to have a particular call out for support to the trans community.
someone in the chat also said gender-based violence, ?
You know, if we get more wordy with this, isn't it going to be easier to say who we're not serving?
Yeah, this is why we have the included but not limited to. This was part of the conversation we had last year, is, you know, ensuring that we are really thorough and holistic in our approach and maintaining language that, Christy, to your point, is not exclusive, while also maintaining that, like, there are particular communities and identities that we want to focus on, or that we want to make sure are uplifted, that historically have not been uplifted in some priority documents. Yeah.
I'll give you $1 if you change LGBTQIA2+ to something that we can remember, because I mess that up every time I try to say it.
Yeah, so I can't give penances for off.
Is someone speaking, or is
someone need to mute?
We had questions about rating for the funding process. Will SPC be involved in this too? Yes, SPC Performance Committee is involved in developing the metrics. Yes, we are. Thank you for that question, listener.
Yeah. All right. Are there any other comments on number 3? I do.
This is Christina.
Yes. Hi, Christina.
Youth stay in foster care till 24. My 20-year-old is still in foster care. So why wouldn't people with foster care system involvement like we do with the carceral system?
Yeah, I think that is great. So people with foster care system experience or involvement.
I like the way you have it worded with people with like the carceral system, people with foster care system involvement.
Got it.
Because we've also got, parents too, that, so to just say exiting, I think we're going to lose a lot of people there.
Cool.
And that more inclusive.
Also, Kelsey, rather than the aging, I'd rather you put the elder community with a capital E. Elder community, yeah. Thank you.
Correct.
Awesome. All right. I will do our accept changes. All right. The next value for this is number 4, and it is develop a culturally responsive system that values diversity and understands differences and develops services. Let me read this correctly. Develop a culturally responsive system that values diversity, understands differences, and develops services and supports to meet the unique needs of each community. And I did put in a footnote to refer to where we get the source of the kind of defining of what we think of culture responsive system.
So you're overlaying the wellness initiative in every one of these mission statements, which I appreciate, without actually saying wellness. Tamara, how do you feel about that? Do we need to actually specify wellness initiative? Where'd she go? Oh,
I think there are other places we can make it more explicit.
okay.
Yeah. But I really love this definition of cultural responsiveness.
I do too. Okay.
And you're right, because all of this is well-being oriented and focused. So I love it.
All right. Any other comments on number 4? All right. Cool. So next we have, and this one is more of a HUD value that is important for us to have in here for the sake of the NOFO and competition. So maximize our community response to homelessness while maintaining as much HUD continuum of care program funding in our COC as possible. And there was, as we looked at this value, there was discussion of like where to embed a call to serve those with varying income levels and income ranges, and looking at like workforce houses and what other opportunities are there within the COC. I think this is a broader kind of system, full system redesign work and call to look at that is outside of just the COC scope, given that COC programs are pretty focused on lower income ranges, and there are not currently programs that we can apply for in the COC that are focused on higher income ranges. So wanted to include that note just to ensure I don't forget to mention that in terms of the kind of.
But we are looking.
That's great, Kelsey.
Yeah.
That's great, because when we were doing the interviews for the database on the one night counts, we found a lot of people who had never experienced homelessness before, who were making 6 figures and experienced through multiple ways the first time homelessness.
Yeah.
Had no idea how to navigate the system. So I'm glad to see that we're making provisions for these people. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm gonna just, for posterity and for kind of continuing conversation, I'm gonna keep the note here. When we publish this as a PDF and post it on the website, the note likely won't be there, just for a note. So number 6, we have promote human-centered practices and partnerships with a housing first and harm reduction approach instead of further displacement or the criminalization of our unhoused neighbors. So the change that we made here this year is to include not just a housing first, but also a harm reduction approach.
And this is again where just to interject, I'm hoping that we do start collaborating with implementation and governing boards, because the criminalization of homelessness is increasing everywhere. And we need our public officials and the people who have been designated with the power and authority to make decisions to stop sweeps, stop jailing and fining people for being homeless. That needs to stop. And I demand that our officials get on board with it, because otherwise we're just harming the community, and we're no better than the structures and systems that have put people there in the first place. So public officials, mayors, governors, get on board with this because our people need that support. So yeah, that's all I was gonna say.
Thank you, Tamara. Any other thoughts or comments on the addition of harm reduction into our person-centered approach and partnerships? Okay, and we'll accept the change.
Kelsey, there
yeah.
is a question in the chat for number 5, I believe.
Okay.
It's does that mean programs like Bridge can/should propose new ideas that are based in feedback and data from clients to better the program, like overlaying Bridge rapid rehousing funds over the transitional housing programs instead of having a dedicated crisis housing or in addition to the crisis housing?
That is a question that I might want to dig into a little more. So whoever that was, if you want to reach out to myself, board members, to have a bigger, more detailed conversation about that, would love to do so. And I can put my
Catherine, if you could, Catherine, if you could you capture that one? Yeah. And footnote it in the minutes, and we'll actually get back to it because it's kind of a question I had.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think.
And then I have a question too.
Yes.
Do our prioritized projects kind of line up with like what HUD is giving us? And the reason I'm saying, because wasn't a priority of there's also back to the those who are fleeing country. I'm sorry, I'm not well, but the word for people who are coming over here from war-torn countries and fleeing that stuff, isn't that also a does it have to reflect the priorities that HUD is saying? Is kind of, because I know that was like a prioritization of theirs with Ukraine and stuff.
Yep. So those would be individuals that would be within the all immigrant and refugee communities, as they would be immigrants and asylum seekers.
Thank you. I'm not just, yeah. So those so do we have all the prioritized projects that we're required to have written down for Mr. HUD to be happy?
We are hoping so, and that will also be through the rating and ranking process of projects that we'll do. Come June is when we'll do kind of the in-depth rating process.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we love disappointing Mr. HUD.
Well, let's
even
not
if it's 10%
disappoint.
a year.
Let's strategic
That was a dig, Kelsey.
challenge.
You don't have to. Yeah. We look at that challenge as it comes.
Yes, we will strategically challenge. That's my diplomatic way of framing things.
Because I know I was on the call when the last NOFO came through that we did not get awarded on, and there was a heavy looking at some of the other large cities NOFOs and other areas. They actually had rural stuff, and we have like, I don't know, so I'm thinking of like, are we got everything in what we need to go after all the NOFOs we can go after, if that makes sense. So it's in there because we didn't get any of the rural based, what I'm going to call rural based NOFO that just was awarded and stuff. And yet we have Carnation and other places where it is more rural than the middle of the state. And so, yeah, just making sure we've got our T's dotted so that we can become more competitive in some of those other additional NOFO processes.
Yep. Christina.
And I want to make sure that understanding goes along, that the balance of state also is able to go after those dollars, and understanding the relationship between our density with 39 cities inside of a county and the needs for our unhoused neighbors across the entire state is part of how we should be. We should always look at how we can maximize dollars for folks experiencing homelessness. And
that's a great point, Marvin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And not fight for every dollar.
Yep. Christina, to your point on the rural component of the special NOFO, we as King County weren't defined as eligible for the rural NOFO, which to your point, I think was also silly and odd, because we do have some very rural communities within King County. So that might be something for us to kind of address with HUD as well. Yeah.
You know, we talked about that a little bit today in our planning meeting for SPC, that I was not aware that we did not get the SNOFO. We're such a bag of chips and all that we kind of presumed that we were going to get it. And yeah, we do have rural areas, but we also got quite a bit of money in the NOFO. And if you look at places like Virginia or the South or the Deep South or a lot of Appalachian counties or Native American counties, there's a lot of people that are way poorer and way more rural. Navajo country comes to mind than we are. And so us not getting the SNOFO because, you know, the money grab didn't go our way doesn't reflect badly on us. There were just other communities that required and deserved it more. So I'm real glad that Janelle brought that up today too. So it's not a reflection on us.
Kelsey?
Yeah. Yes. So the next list of items are, so first we have our local values, and next we're looking at how we want to prioritize projects. So this is the part that really impacts how we rank projects, because there's 2 steps to do the kind of more data-based objective rating based on program outcomes, as well as, you know, the revisioning that we want to do on what other criteria we want to bring in based on community and participant feedback. And once we have those kind of rated evaluation, kind of the number-based piece that HUD wants, we then rank. And we rank things and we can move things up and down based upon how we want to prioritize projects. And this is the below list of what we want to take into consideration as we potentially move things up and down the rank order. So our first priority for the COC projects we will be evaluating is looking at projects that elevate the voices of people with lived experience as experts in development and implementation of planning, programming, and evaluation. And we did not make a change to this one. We're carrying this one forth as it is from last year, unless there are any thoughts or comments.
You could put the word governing in there too. Marvin, you're not on mute, so I could hear you sigh.
Oh, I sighed only because I was trying to find the space again to read again.
Yeah,
So, sorry.
Christy, I think for project level, I think that would go into the programming, would be kind of how the program is like run and designed. Does that make sense? Because we're looking at the individual projects.
Right. I was thinking about the brouhaha we had earlier in the meeting about the governing and implementation boards. I would say you could put governing and advising in there too. So my bad. Marvin, go ahead and sigh all you want.
All right. So our next priority for
Call me
projects.
as you will. I wasn't sighing. I was busily inhaling so I could breathe and read again.
Methinkest thou doth protestest too much, Marvineth.
There's also some conversation in the chat from the public. I see somebody mentioned would like to see change to involve. They're kind of asking what elevate really means. And then additionally, somebody just wanted to add some information that King County is rated 75% rural and 25% urban.
Great. So other thoughts on changing this from elevate to involve the voices of people with lived experience?
It's a friendly term.
The only,
I
the
like
only,
that.
sorry, the only concern I have was that with that is that it's assuming that folks aren't already involved. And we folks who are sit on this board that are lived experience are already involved. What I want is to flatten the power imbalance between the governing implementation and the COC boards, because we do need to have those voices lifted up and driving our systems, not the politicians and folks who think that they know best. What needs to happen is having the folks with lived experience, having those voices elevated and amplified, and demanding that our public officials do more. I'm sorry, but like that, I'm really frustrated because I hear about all these public comments when I go to the governing and implementation boards. I listen to what people are saying, and there's not nearly enough pressure on the public officials to do anything. There's lots of pressure on KCRHA, lots of pressure on the providers doing the work, but where's the elected officials? They are the ones who have the decision-making authority and power. Let's get them on board to take charge of their communities. We are the caretakers. Take care of your communities.
Have we ever invited any of them to these meetings, Tamara?
No, but we damn well should. I'm sorry.
Amen. Okay, Eli, that's a good way to get to know people.
Tamara, I appreciate you lifting that up and why the word elevate was chosen to be here. Yeah. Yes.
One more comment. Courtney had a question if we're using Oxford commas and if one is needed on after programming in 7A.
Someone after my own heart.
What's an Oxford comma?
William Shatner uses them.
Love it.
Well, William Shatner used them. What's an Oxford comma? Somebody show me quickly.
Yep. All right, I am going to move us to B, because I know there's other things on the agenda, so I don't want to completely take all of y'all's time. I do appreciate it. So B is focus on those who are literally homeless. This is a HUD priority, as well as one that we want to lift locally. So focus on those who are literally homeless, streets, shelter, transitional housing for youth and veterans, vehicle residents, and includes people fleeing and attempting to flee domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking. So we added in a couple of kind of further defining what literally homeless means in this for this year, included that with transitional housing, folks who, those who are youth and veterans can be eligible for COC programs, whereas single adults and families in transitional housing, there's some different rules. So we wanted to put that qualifier. We wanted to make sure to include vehicle residents as they are also considered experiencing literal homelessness. And then we expanded that the definition of literal homeless includes those who are not only fleeing, but attempting to flee domestic violence, as well as sexual assault and stalking. So we wanted to further bolster that, what that means, kind of spell it out a little bit more. Comments, thoughts, questions?
Can we, I don't know if you want to add another special group, but considering that Native Americans only account for 1% of the population in Seattle, yet they comprise 32% of the homeless population in Seattle. I know we're included in BIPOC, and elders is kind of a way to initiate that in there too, but I think that's really important, especially when we're looking at land acknowledgement. And so I probably will bring that statistic up from now on, but I just want people to be aware of that. We comprise in our native homeland 1% of the population here in Seattle. Yep, 1 in 3, 32% of the homeless population here. So
Thank you, Christy, because I've always wanted to break. I think BIPOC is just covering. It shouldn't be BIPOC. It should be Black, Brown, Pacific, Native Islanders, Indigenous peoples. I mean, maybe we need to call that. We need to call that all back out again, because it's
it is. I agree, Marvin. Maybe have that for a dialogue
Yeah.
later. A later dialogue. I agree with that. I don't like that term either.
Let's spell it out. Yeah. Let's not miss anything here.
So you can say the Black, Indigenous,
Pacific Native Islander.
Pacific Islanders.
Yeah,
Well, we don't want to skip the Asian population either.
no. But all this alphabet soup, sometimes we actually miss communities of people.
Right, and LBGTQ plus IA2 squared wants their name all set out, so. I'm sorry, we got to come up with another moniker, but yeah, I'm glad that we agree on something, Marvin. Can you believe it? Oh,
We agree on so
Uh,
much.
I know it. How about Latinx, listener, instead of Hispanic? How about Latinx, I think is the correct term. Did I? actually? Yeah.
I
thank you.
believe the most recent inclusive term is Latine, ending it with an E.
Oh, AA, okay, kind of like
Yeah.
nibblings is a sibling of non-gendered, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We can put nibblings in there too. Oh, I got a heart in the comment, right on.
And do you want me to spell out also rather than acronym?
No.
Acronyming?
No,
Okay.
no, somebody somewhere, maybe on TikTok will come up with a really nice new term that
Term.
everybody will love. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
praying for that. So maybe something better than BIPOC too. It's just for convenience, I know,
Right.
but it is, words are powerful.
Yep, very much. So going back to B, any other comments or changes? Are we good with the inclusions that were made here?
It's good, looks good. Oh, Courtney Love has a hand up, Courtney.
Thank you. Can you scroll back up to 3?
You got it.
Oh, scrolling back up to 3.
I think, okay, yeah, the LGBTQIA, that community might also need to be plural. Unless, I don't know, maybe that's a discussion. Is it a single community or is it a group of communities?
Oh,
Communities is, yeah, communities is a better word. I think you're right,
Thank you.
Courtney.
Yes, thank you.
And I did see a piece in the chat of leading number 3. I copy pasted it with serving those who are historically marginalized and disproportionately impacted by the experience of homelessness. So including in number 3 to lead this off that like there's a particular focus, pardon me, on historically marginalized or disproportionately impacted. Courtney, I see your hand up.
Sorry.
Was there a question? Any other questions about that one?
Okay. I'm going to do the exception.
Rolling down.
Or B. We then have C. Prioritize projects that actively participate in the continuum of care through demonstrable racial equity and social justice oriented practices that center community on and are in alignment with the values of community accountability, trauma-informed care, harm reduction, prevention, and whole person well-being through focusing on what is meaningful to the individual. So I'll get that so it can be seen fully.
Listener says housing first. Well, being through folk. Yeah, listener just said housing first, question mark. So listener, do you think that needs to go into the C here somewhere? should be included? Where?
So we could do actively participate in the continuum of care through demonstrable racial equity and social justice oriented practices. Oops, pardon me, I have the hiccups. Practices that center community and are alignment with the values of, we could do community accountability, housing first,
Okay,
trauma-informed
Ideals.
care, harm reduction, prevention, and whole person well-being through focusing on what is meaningful to the individual.
One's my favorite.
I was
I
about to say,
thought of you,
Tamara.
Got your
Tamara.
well-being there,
You're
Tamara.
right in.
We all thought about you, Tamara.
All right, I will do accepting of those changes. All right, D, we have demonstrate commitment to power sharing and deference to people with lived experience in organizational design and policy development processes through actions such as dedicated board seats or management positions. And this is something we're carrying forth from last year without a change. I changed it from a semicolon to a comma though, since it's a
Okay.
long list.
Looks good. No questions in the chat.
Awesome.
Moving
All
on.
right, we then have E, advance the collective goals of the COC, including addressing racial disproportionality and achieving equitable outcomes for Indigenous, Black, Pacific Islanders, and other people of color, trans individuals, and the broader LGBTQIA Two-Spirit Plus communities. And I will change this to communities.
Okay. It's good. Nothing in chat.
I wanted to say, what about, the most unhoused person in the United States right now is a disabled person, no matter what color they represent. And so I feel like if we're talking about equity, then we need to say something about disability in there. That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Thank you,
How
for
would-
Christina,
And I don't like
Christina.
F. I don't like F at all, by the way.
she just put it in there.
Which
Kelsey just put
where?
it at the, she put it at the end of E.
At the end of E.
Yeah.
Yep. Oops,
Kelsey
let's
just
spell
put
it
it in there.
correctly.
Okay, no questions in the chat.
All right. So next, and Christina, I
have-
heard your comment. This one is a HUD priority.
But I have something in E.
Oh, yes, please.
I think there's an extra comma, which I'm not good at identifying sometimes. I overuse them. But after disproportionality. Because that's not an Oxford comma.
Yeah, thank
Correct.
you.
Yes.
I love the detail to grammar.
Someone has a hand up?
She just spoke. That was Courtney. Can you put the hand down?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so next is F, which is, this is a HUD priority. Have
HUD
movement
didn't
to
word it.
permanent.
They
Oh.
didn't word it like that, did they?
Who?
Let her read it.
Okay, sorry.
So have movement to permanent housing and subsequent stability, including economic stability, as the primary focus.
Wow, I'd like that. Can you do that for me?
Well, but movement to permanent housing. I could say 5 people that in the last 2 weeks have been evicted from permanent housing that came from the streets. So I don't like the idea of movement from permanent housing because that doesn't seem like they're staying permanent in that housing. Does that make sense? I don't
What
like
you're-
movement.
So wording it as a
what
goal rather
you're
than the
saying,
word have.
yes.
Okay,
So
so
what if we say have, so this priority is looking at folks who exit programs, is looking at program exits, and that we want program exits to be to permanent housing. So
Not
we look at
straight.
transitional housing, rapid rehousing, as well as permanent supportive housing. We look at in the rating and ranking process, how many people exited the program and what % of those people exited to permanent housing. So that's what we
positive
want to
exits.
see rather than exits to homelessness. So
See, I
that's-
like that.
positive outcomes. Yeah, positive
Yes.
outcomes. Yeah.
So how about we say, instead of movement, have positive outcomes to permanent housing and subsequent stability?
That's
Right.
much
That's
better
better.
because
Yeah.
I want to chime in too and say that, you know, all these wordings and phrases and stuff, they sound good, but how are they really actually building relationships with the people that are on the streets? I think that relationship building and building relationship with people on a personal level in a humanistic approach, like people coming out from behind their desk and actually going out, boots on the ground, and meeting with these people and stuff like that. I think that that is not highlighted here. I think that that is the most important way to build relationship, is to make a person feel like they're valuable and they're worthy of whatever assistance is being said to be given. Or it just seems to me like this is just words. It doesn't cut through to the humanity of it. And I just would like to put that out there.
No, I
you,
appreciate
Karen.
that, Karen, and maybe we can look at that as a, so I think that may be something we have captured it within, like including our theory of change and our mission of really anchoring the work we're doing in those with voices of with lived experience. For the project priorities, many of or all of them are housing programs. So we don't have as much like outreach work that we are evaluating in the same way. I do think that's something moving forward we can look at with programs that are doing, it's something that we can look at in terms of like, how do we incorporate that within our coordinated entry process of who is being referred into programs and how are programs doing those connections?
Well, Kelsey, for me, programs is not gonna cut it. We've had programs 50 years. We've always had programs. That is not how we build relationship though. You know, programs require box checking and statistics and stuff like that. And I just want the change. When we talk about the theory of change, which is what the King County Regional Homeless Authority, a main principle that it's supposed to be standing on, I don't want to see more of the same, is what I'm saying.
So Kelsey, while I have this document to guide things, they missed in the way that we were going to apply these words as we go through the NOFO. And that comes in where we evaluate and rank our programs. And that is going to see a change to where, well, maybe it won't. Maybe I won't be around long enough to see it, but I thought that was what we were working in this year that was clearly missed from last year. And maybe we need to elevate it and share with how our timeline allows some of that work to get started this year and how we get better from year to year.
Yep. I think, Marvin, to both your point and Karen, to yours, part of our hope with the rating reevaluation will definitely be anchored in developing relationship and community and having both like education and information spaces for folks who are in programs, accessing programs, to bring in their experiences into what it is that we want to rate programs on. So I think that's where we're hoping to bring in that relational thing, is not just to be on paper, where this is like the paper piece, and then through the like action of changing the rating criteria is living the relational development.
Did you get the chat
So,
comments
when
too
you-
from Bill?
When you give someone a place to live, and we've said this over and over, and I know I'm a dead horse here, but I don't care. When you give someone a place to live, are they thriving? Are they thriving? Are they receiving wraparound services, are they gonna thrive in it? Are they gonna be able to maintain and sustain it? That is when, you know, and I don't think it's ever gonna be complete. Like with me, I'm still healing. I'm still in therapy. I'm still, you know, facing hardship every day. So I just want to make it clear that, you know, it's easy to articulate a presentation. I'm not talking about you, Kelsey. I'm talking about system-wide, how we've been moving. It's easy to do and say we're going to do it, but the actual skin in the game, boots on the ground, hand to hand, pulling each other out of whatever issue that we're dealing with or facing, whether it be alcoholism, homelessness, drug addiction, mental illness, health issues, disability, aging, LGBTQ, and the other letters that I can't remember all the time. You know, there's more to it. It's a humanistic, definite love approach, and love is not in any of the language that we're using. So I'm always going to push back, and it's not to say that I don't respect the words of the people that have been talking, but I think that we need to do better, do more. This is the same to me.
And teamwork seems to like not be called out, you know, like we're all one big team together, whether it's me as the unhoused person and my team or us as team. It seems like that's kind of missing from some of the words too.
Whoops.
Point in case for both Christina and Karen, I'll pick those applications up, but I'm gonna need you to contact me. So I have points of contact for you to drop those off. So.
Yeah,
make
I'm
sure
heading
you
into
keep
the
us okay.
hospital in an hour, not even an hour.
Okay, well, I won't drop your stuff off today, but Christina, let me, if you can, let me know when I can.
will.
And did
Okay.
you get my number?
I did, I've got it saved,
Okay,
thanks.
Good. Oh, you betcha. Karen, you got my number too? You let me know when the best time to drop those applications off to you.
Can I also ask a clarifying question? For
Sure.
those applications, are we doing just the COCAC or the other one as well? The
SPC.
not SPC. SPC is not something that I was
Yeah.
working on.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
sorry,
Coordinate-
CEA. This,
coordinate-
yeah,
The Coordinated Entry Committee, yes.
so
And the
COC.
SPC. So maybe 25 of each or 30 of each.
so Chrissy, I don't know
Alex, is
what-
it possible to have this conversation offline so like we can try and get finished with this in the next 10 minutes?
Thank you.
Yeah.
We also
Yes.
have to give our SPC report. So.
Yeah.
Yes, and the
And-
annual COC convening where we will actually convene a body. There's
You're gonna
several
have
other
to do a
things I'd
special
like to
meeting.
get to. So-
So I
Answer
want
would
to
be no,
focus
Kelsey.
on, pardon me. I'll focus on the next three. These are the ones that we included changes on, and also we'll highlight some of the changes to further ones. So we have another value or priority that is also a HUD priority of projects that do not replace mainstream resources, such as federally funded health insurance, cash benefits, or other federally funded behavioral health services. Because there wasn't clarity on what it means by mainstream resources, we added some qualifiers to provide examples of what HUD means when we talk about replacing mainstream resources. The
What
value, yes.
Government funded, because we're gonna lose some federally funded that the state's gonna pick up as health insurance.
So these ones are for HUD. They look at what's
Okay.
federal funded.
Got
for
it, thank you.
replacement. Yeah. All right. The next, work to connect people served by COC funded programs with community-based culturally responsive resources. And then we include a footnote to a definition of cultural responsiveness. We next have, again, this is kind of, most of these last ones are all HUD priorities. participate in the homelessness management information system with complete high quality data per both local metrics and HUD data standards. So we spelled out HMIS and included also local metrics. Demonstrate alignment with HUD Housing First standards, including screening, program entry, person-centered services, and termination policies. And then we have a footnote that goes to, it's a hyperlink that will go to a HUD Housing First checklist of what those standards are. Perform well against HUD continuum of care goals and positively impact local system performance and equity outcomes. And lastly, consistently meet and exceed operational standards for spending, match, occupancy, and reporting. So all these like last ones are all of kind of the HUD priorities we want to make sure we include as part of the competition process.
And again, we're uplifting HUD and not the people. So it's the power with the money that we seem to be catering to, but never the people.
And so Karen, I both agree and want to highlight that how we, and this is, you know, to the point of written word in a document, but a choice that we made last year collectively was to lower the HUD priorities on the prioritization, this list. So all those HUD priorities are below our local priorities, which are elevating the voices of those with lived experience, focusing on folks who are literally homeless, demonstrating racial equity and power sharing. So that was one way that we chose to, in a document at least, again, in a document, demonstrate that, you know, we want to elevate our local priorities of people and not just talk about or just elevate those HUD priorities. And that for this process and this purpose for the NOFO, you know, we have to do a balance of both. And as, you know, as much as I would love to be able to dismantle this process and not have to follow some of those, I also want to keep getting $56 million for our community. So yeah, doing that balance. But I hear you, Karen.
I want the 56, I want the 14, I want the 5.6. Let's not shortchange all of the notifications of opportunity. Let's make sure we actually keep building in these pieces that we want to see persistent change. But it ain't 56 million. I want all of it.
There's a comment from
close to $80 million every year that floods that are federally funded dollars. Not only the ones we apply for, but the ones that are being given directly to programs that, you know, we have not yet taken a look at in many years. So, yes.
Marvin, I'd like to say time, we've got 6 minutes and a lot to cover. What would you like to do here?
Well, if there are other changes folks think that we might need to work on this document, please say so now. Otherwise, I would like to see us write up all.
Do you want us to vote on approval of this right now? You're.
Hey Marvin, your Wi-Fi is kind of going out.
Yes.
So do we want to?
I also think my phone's going out. So can we vote on this today, folks?
Do you want to make a motion?
I move that we accept present edits.
I second.
Any discussion?
We've been discussing it.
Oh, yes, we have. Ready, all in favor?
Good
Say
looking document,
aye.
Kelsey. Aye.
Yes. And
Just
Alex,
one
yours
second,
is-
please. I was trying to get off mute. So are
Okay,
we
yes.
agreeing to the presentation or what are we doing? You guys are
We're-
always doing a quick vote and I need to understand what we're voting on.
This document we created last year, we voted on it and accepted it. We've made some edits that we just spent the last 20, 25 minutes going through. If there are no more edits, I'd like to have this
And so-
document
And so when
be
you,
edited so that we
so
can
I
use
just,
it.
Marvin, I feel ignored. I made some comments. Me and Kelsey had some back and forth about it. Obviously, I felt like there were some things that we were leaving out. And so to rush to a quick vote and ignore that, to me, is disrespectful.
It's not designed to be disrespectful. It's designed to have a document that we can use moving forward. If you don't think that we should vote on it yet, then we don't. We meet every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. to make these edits. Everyone is welcome to the process. But once again, I was asking the board, all of the board, whether or not we were ready to move forward.
Okay, well, I'll just say, I vote no.
Fair enough. So back to the vote at hand. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Christina's an aye.
Christina's an aye.
Sherry, Shanae, Lise, is that Sherry? Thank you.
I'm
Sherry's aye.
abstaining.
Shanae, Lise,
So we're gonna continue to edit this later?
Yes, we can continue to make edits. We just want to confirm the ones that we've done. To make that part of the living document.
Okay. I just abstain at this time.
okay.
So all the nays. I know Karen was one. Any other nays?
We didn't get Lisa's vote yet. I don't know if Lise wants to abstain or say nay.
We did. I came off mic to say that I abstain.
Okay. Thanks, Lise.
And so we have 2 abstentions. Ready. So we'll accept the edits and we'll keep the document moving forward. System performance, do you guys have a quick report?
2 minutes, Tamara.
Okay, I'm gonna rush through this as much as I can. So we do have 5 new members and we notified them earlier today. We haven't heard from one of them, but 4 of the 5 have already confirmed that they're still interested and that they will join. And
Ruby
going
was here, actually. One of our members was here.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
panel.
Ruby,
Yeah, and it's like,
yeah.
welcome, Ruby, yeah.
It was great to see her participate. And each meeting going forward, each public meeting going forward is going to reserve the first half for a training topic, such as the system performance dashboards and the outcomes reports to help us get a baseline understanding of our local system performance. And also, and this one's really, really important, to counter the harmful narratives and disinformation that is often pushed by the media regarding homelessness and the work being done to address community-wide concerns. That kind of speaks to what I was bitching about earlier. And April meeting will be focusing on data quality reports in HMIS and HMIS access for non-HMIS or non-KCRHA contracted agencies that want to use HMIS. We have three agencies that have expressed interest, and they're all really good ones that have
Ballard Food Bank is one of them, right?
Yes,
Ballard
indeed.
Food Bank, yeah.
Mhm. And then-
One of Bill Curlin Hackett's compatriots along the RV people, right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
And then the third one is Medic One?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so then the next thing we'll be focusing is on developing policy to fulfill client requests to see their records in HMIS. So more to
That's
come
still
on
in the
that.
works.
All right.
All right, Alex,
Thank
do
you.
you want me to pick those things up today or tomorrow? Tomorrow at noon, I can do it.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was off mute. Yeah, let's do tomorrow, so I have time to make sure everything's printed and stapled and ready for you.
30 copies of each. Thank you for the
Yep.
CEA, the COC, and the SPC.
Would you mind,
Thank you.
where's the SPC located? Can you send me that, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry, everyone.
Thank you. Did Aaron join us today?
There's
Aaron is-
Aaron.
Aaron is
Aaron
out
is-
sick today.
Is out sick. Okay, great. I'll close us out really quickly. We're planning for an annual, well, we're planning the convening of the Continuum of Care body. That's all of the folks in the county being invited to come and see what the board is doing. Hopefully, planning for that convening, however, is going to take a little bit of work. Shanae and I meet most Mondays at 3 p.m. Along with KCRHA staff that will be helping us do this. That meeting's open to everyone. Once again, put it in the minutes, put it in the chat, 3 p.m. Monday afternoons, every Monday, so that we can get a body of folks from the community to actually help guide our work. So
I got something real quick too, Marvin. You didn't tell Christina about the update with her Wi-Fi that was offered by KCRHA, and then
He
the
did.
equipment. Oh, he did. Okay.
He did.
Yes.
And the
Marvin
second
has
thing is
emailed
that
me.
we all
Yes.
have phone numbers. When email's not working and we're not getting responses, I would encourage people to use the phone number and check on people.
I don't have a
Because-
phone list.
I don't have your phone number. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
talking to, oh, I was talking about Shanae not hearing from us for 2 weeks. And yeah, you can have my phone number, 206-769-0970. Anybody can have
Okay.
it. Thank you.
Okay, Karen, can you get back to me? Let me know. I'm gonna pick those applications up tomorrow, so I need to know when would be a good time to drop those off.
it is now 4:02. I want to thank the community for their time, for everyone who attended and helped us in the chat. So but at now 4:03, we'll call this monthly, the March 1st meeting of the Continuum of Care Advisory Committee, regular meeting.
You too, Kelsey. Miss you. Eli, your work's
Thank
cut
you.
out for you.
Alex or Eli or Catherine, someone kill it.